All right, let's continue with our Eliminator 8 media availability. Ryan Newman has joined us. He drives the number 31 Caterpillar Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing. And Ryan, you're heading into Texas Motor Speedway. You got two races left before we trim the field to the championship four. What's your outlook here today and this weekend at this big, fast mile-and-a-half racetrack?
You really just look forward to the opportunity. We had a pretty good run going here in the first race and caught a windshield tear off on a splitter and had to pit under green and lost a bunch of track positions. So just the opportunity to come back here and prove and show the things that we've learned as a team and as an organization since the first race here in Texas, and just to keep our consistency going of a couple top fives and top tens, and have some fun with what we're doing with the Caterpillar Chevrolet.
Questions now for Ryan Newman. We've got Drew over to my left. We've got Tom to my right, and we got Jerry back over here.
Ryan, Drew Davison with the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Kind of talk about your season, and obviously you haven't found victory lane yet, but you've been so consistent, and you're kind of the one guy who could win a championship without a win. Has that crossed your mind, and would that be just as special if?
I mean, mathematically, the potential is there, and as long as you have four seeds and 3 winners, there's that potential, and we know that there's going to be at the max 2 at this point. So, nevertheless, or at least going into this last round, nevertheless, a championship is still a championship, and the trophy doesn't have a number of wins underneath it. And if we win the championship, then that would be great in any form or fashion. But we're here to win races as well, and there'd be nothing better than to win the next 3. But there's no guarantee in any of that.
Let's go over to the right to Tom, then we'll come back to the left to Jerry.
Hi, Ryan. Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com. Looking at the stats, Kevin Harvick has led 1,817 laps. He's 8th in points. Brad Keselowski's led 1,518. He's 7th in points. Jimmy Johnson's led 1,119, and he's out of title contention. You've led 41, and you're 2nd in points. Does that seem odd to you at all?
Well, those were mostly odd numbers, yes. But other than that, I mean, yeah, it's not the typical equation that you have where performance is equating to championship run, but at the same time, this point system is a little different this year, and our consistency has been our strength, and our consistency has been not in the top 3. Our consistency has been basically 5th to 11th more often than not, and it's been very difficult to lead laps for us. I think our last laps led were at Talladega, so I mean where a lot of people lead laps, but nevertheless, it's my standard answer. It is what it is. We're riding the wave that's presented to us, and we're having fun with it.
We'll go to Jerry, we'll go to Bob Pockris, and then we'll go to Steve Richards.
Ryan, Jerry Fraley from the Dallas Morning News. You're finishing races at one of the highest rates of your career, finishing well. Are you driving differently this year with the intent of finishing races? I know that's always a goal when you start, but to make sure that happens? Yeah,
it's just unfortunate that there's guys that are doing a better job than us. I mean, realistically, I've always tried the same amount, the same effort, each and every race. But in the end, we're still getting beat. So we have to step it up. We've done that the last few weeks, and it showed, I think, from a little bit of everything. Pit road, myself as well as the pit crew guys, with the race cars, strategy wise, everybody's stepping it up a little bit. So, and we've improved the second time we've come to these racetracks, which is a big deal for us as a new team to show that improvement. But from my standpoint, I do know it's important to finish, and I would rather finish 7th than 27th. Giving without risking too much, I guess you could say. But in the end, you still don't have to win a race to win the championship. Mathematically, you could finish 39th or 40th or whatever it is at Homestead. There's and that's something anybody wants to see, but that's the math of it. So. And it's likely not to happen, but I just go out there and do the best job I possibly can, and that's made me a consistent driver this year.
Right, we're going to go to Bob Pockris, Steve Richards, Claire Beeline.
Bob Pockris, Sporting News. Is there any point spread that if you had on third you'd feel somewhat comfortable going into next week?
Not really, no. Just because anything can happen. I still look towards Phoenix as being a high potential for some really crazy restarts with the dog leg in the back. We saw the start of that at Loudon. And the last couple laps of Charlotte were pretty intense. So I think that there's really no guarantee. I don't know what the math would be. I mean, obviously high 30s would be really nice, but I don't think that that's necessarily going to be the case. I think it's going to take 3 really good races to put yourself in the hunt going into Homestead.
We'll go to Steve Richards, Claire B. Lang, Lee Spencer.
Yeah, Steve Richards with PRN. Ryan, can you talk about describing the pressure you feel going into this weekend and as you move along in the chase?
I don't have any pressure.
No?
I don't.
Why do you think that is?
I medicate myself. I don't know. I'm having fun with these guys. It's been a lot of fun, and yeah, I mean, there's intensity out there, but that's different from pressure to me. Pressure is something I've always said. Pressure is what explodes things, and there's no reason to put unneeded or unwanted pressure on anything that you want to perform well.
Good plan.
We'll go to Claire B. Lang and then Lee Spencer, right up behind you there, Lawrence.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. With everyone saying you've got to be patiently aggressive and go get it in the chase, obviously aggressiveness different at Talladega and Martinsville. What is being aggressive like at a track like this? How would you define it for a fast track like Texas?
It's a fairly good question. The bottom line is you only have to be as aggressive as you need to be. I mean, if you got a dominant race car, then being aggressive is the worst thing you could be. But if you're in a position where you're fighting for 7th or 8th all day and you think you have a top 5 car, then you better be aggressive because you need to make something happen. So it's all situational, in my opinion, to answer your question.
Aggressive, what is being aggressive at Martinsville? We know you talk about the bump and run, and at Talladega, we talk about what is it here that you define being aggressive as when you have to be?
I mean, aggressive can be going 3 to maybe 4 wide on a restart. It could be, pushing the lights on your tachometer as fast as you possibly can and not get busted for speeding, but getting everything you can. So there's times to be super aggressive, and there's times to be aggressive, and there's times that you don't have to be.
Lee Spencer and then Lewis Frank.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com. We ran into Mr. Borland yesterday down in Austin. He was doing some due diligence in preparation for the Haas F1 deal. What do you think will make him not qualified? Because obviously the guy's brilliant, but what is it about Matt Borland that'll make him a good fit with the Haas F1 group?
Matt, I guess Matt's his first real situation like that was his first go around with me that I know of as far as our ARCA start. We started with 3 or 4 guys at Penske and built a organization that became a Cup winner in the All-Star race way before our rookie season. So he knows how to get things started, and he knows how to put people together. And he did the exact same thing last year with a team that took us to a Brickyard 400 trophy. So, he is the guy that I would want if I was doing that. And he's very hands-on. He knows how to do everything, and I mean everything. But at the same time, it's a huge task. So I hope he's got some good people around him.
Lewis Frank.
Yes, Lewis Frank of Reuters. Ryan, in 2003, you won 8 races and didn't win the championship. Now, you might win the championship without a win. Pardon the leading question, but do you see any irony in that?
I mean, Matt Kenseth won the championship that year with 2 wins, right? He started off the season with 2 wins and stayed strong, but never won again. So, and I guess you could say that he raced 34 races without a win. But in the end, I mean, like I said, the championship trophy doesn't have the number of wins written underneath it. And when they ever put you in the Hall of Fame, it doesn't say he won the championship without ever a victory. We've got victories, maybe just not in the 2013 season. You just never know. 2014 season.
Any additional questions? Kenny, and then my man right back here to the right. It'll be the final question right over here, it looks like, maybe.
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. Okay, points aside, do Do you feel like you guys are a good enough team to win the championship if you get to Homestead?
I feel like we are, without a doubt. It takes us continuing to perform and outperform where we have performed. We've gotten stronger as the year's gone. The last few races were nice. To have back-to-back top fives was something that's much needed at this time of the year for our team. So. Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, we wouldn't be here if we weren't a contender for a championship. But like I said before, there's no guarantees to anything. There's no guarantees that we don't wad it up on the first lap here and never make it to Homestead.
Final question back here to the right.
Toby Christie, RubbingsRacing.com. Ryan, when you moved over to a new team, you would kind of expect there to be a little bit of a drop-off, but how far ahead are you guys this year towards the end of the year in your first season with RCR from where you expected to be? And also, when you look at the point standings, you look at behind you, every one of those Stewart-Haas racing cars are behind you. Is that kind of sweet seeing them behind you?
Well, first of all, I'm glad I didn't meet your expectations. Otherwise, I'd be doing worse than I am. But I want everybody behind me. It doesn't matter if it's an SHR car or a Penske car or a Roush car. That doesn't matter to me. I want to beat everybody. That's how you become a champion. And we've been consistent this year and just look forward to the opportunity to continue to fight for this championship.
Got one more right here, gentleman on the front row. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, Ryan. Johnny Herbert, Sky Sports from the UK. I've just driven up from Austin. We're obviously with the Circuit of the Americas with the F1 race. Your old team, Stewart, Haas, are going to be entering, or June Haas is going to be entering a car in 2016. Is that going to be a very important thing for the growth of the popularity of Formula One in the United States?
To me, you're asking the wrong guy, and it's a fair question. No disrespect, but if you're talking about short track racing or open wheel racing, with respect to what I grew up doing, I'd have a better answer for you. But I've never paid much attention to the F1 racing. I like watching a good race, but I don't. It's not that I turn it on or DVR it at 3 in the morning when it's on in a different time zone. So I'm not the best guy to answer that. But I would have to say that in the end, it's probably good for the United States and to have something diversity-wise back in F1 that used to be there. I would have to say that that's good. To see a lot of things that at least sporting-wise, were a little bit of throwback is a good thing.
Sure. And what about other drivers within the NASCAR? Do they watch it? Do they talk about it?
I think there's quite a few guys that watch it. I mean, we're amazed at the technology that F1 has, but to me, the technology doesn't always equate to great racing. We look at it from a technology standpoint of how to beat the other guys in the garage, whether it's how to use carbon fiber or how to use their braking systems or something like that can improve and give us an advantage. That's to me that's my interest in F1.
What do you think of the race fan, or what does Formula One have to do to get the race fan, NASCAR race fan, to go and watch it?
I'd have to say that the answer to that is to get more cars in the field and to have more passing. I mean, it's all about passing. I mean, some of the best racing in the world is the guy that starts last in a 30-lap race and passes the guy at the start-finish line in the last lap. And I don't see that happening in F1 too very often.
Great, thanks.
Yep.
Ryan, thank you very much. We'll let you go. Actually, we have one more back here. If you don't mind, Wolfgang, get him the mic, please. You saw him. He's a late ad.
Ryan, Wolfgang Monser from German Ranchport Press Agency. For the last race of the season, and the chase season, is there any development stuff you have on your car which is maybe advantage over your rivals?
I don't know what the guys have planned or what they're up to. From my standpoint, it's a very fair question, but there's a balance obviously there of having parts and pieces that we've run all season and trust versus parts and pieces that we might have a performance advantage and have some risk. So they'll weigh that out. That's their responsibility, and they've done a very good job at it all year.
Ryan, thank you very much. Good luck this weekend at Texas.
Thank you.